we've made it, right? With that said, I could honestly say that we truly have lived and seen a complete evolution of the communication industry I'm talking prior to the voice over IP days, all the way to the unified communication and collaboration capabilities, kind of where we are today. And this is why I always say it's so important to have that trusted advisor. So whether it's one of our cloud consultants, Christy, Jose, Steven, or one of our network surveillance people, Andres, or myself, we get to have these type of talks because it could get tricky out there. There's so much happening in this space. So just know that we care and we're always here to assist your organization. We really want you to run efficiently. We want you to run effectively while running economically. So I don't want to bore you anymore with any more presentation talk. So I'm going to pass the baton over to a friend of mine out of Avaya, Bill Coakley. And this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be interactive, educational, while at the end enjoying some really great wine. So Bill, thank you so much. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Hugo. I appreciate it. Again, real quick, my name is Bill Coakley. I'm the Senior Public Cloud Specialist here at Avaya. Jason Zopel is a teammate of mine who also is part of our cloud team, who will probably be working with you folks in the near future, hopefully. Avaya Cloud Office by Ring Central. What is that? What's that name come from? Well, 2 years ago, Avaya and Ring Central entered into a partnership, into an agreement to let Avaya utilize Ring Central's backbone as a medium to produce a product called the Avaya Cloud Office. Now, besides just signing a pen and paper and a handshake, this goes a lot further than just your standard partnership. There are teams built at each company to collaborate with each other. I have counterparts on the Ring Central side who only support Avaya Cloud Office, and vice versa. Ring Central has people on their side that only support the Avaya Cloud Office product. It was a large investment to the tune of about $500 million, and the relationships keep growing and growing. Now, one of the major differences in this relationship is that by us leveraging that infrastructure by Ring Central, it allows dual R&D. It allows companies like yourselves to take advantage of two global leaders in their spaces to provide you the best in breed unified communications as a service platform. Any questions on the partnership?
No.
Nope. Perfect. So what we're going to talk about today is the Avaya OneCloud, which encompasses Avaya Cloud Office by Ring Central. Avaya is a cloud company. We are a software company. And how we do that is by allowing customers and clients like yourselves to leverage our multi-cloud environment. Not only do we have unified communications as a service, we have contact center as a service, we have our communications platform as a service. That is an open platform, an open ecosystem that allows you to migrate and actually leverage certain architectures like Microsoft and Azure and the Google Cloud and Amazon. It gives you the ability to leverage those best-of-breed technologies and have it follow under the Avaya OneCloud umbrella. So again, unlike other cloud companies who will have to try to piece part it, we provide you everything in the cloud and let you leverage the technologies that we find that are best of breed. So why would you migrate to the cloud? This is a very important question, right? Yeah. For some of you that don't understand cloud or not sure, but just kind of heard about it, why do people look at cloud? Why do they want to migrate their platforms to the cloud? This chart is really why. And this is not just with Avaya Cloud Office. This is with your contact centers. This is with your platform as a services, your dial tone. So when you look to the left, right, this is where you are today, right? You sit in a current state with carrier and network charges. You pay for messaging and chat through either an on-premise platform or some other third-party non-integrated cloud-based platform. Your collaboration and web conferencing, those sit beside nothing. They're disparate from all the other technologies that you have today. So why do you do that, right? Why would we keep things separate? The PBX management, your on-premise phone system that provides you the dial tone and the voicemail and the call processing. And then there's data center and hardware costs. Sometimes you have to host these applications. The answer is why. Why do you want to host all these applications? Well, the future is now, and the future is Avaya Cloud Office by Ring Central. What Avaya Cloud Office provides to you is a single pane of glass that actually covers all of the technology that you pay for on the left. It's a single bill. You pay per user, right? It's less costly, and it is dang sure more efficient and more effective for your business. So when you look at the cost of what you're paying today and the cost to migrate to the cloud tomorrow, there are potential cost savings and sometimes really large cost savings. And again, we'll go through what the platform can do for you now. So
yeah, if I could just add for a second, Bill, one of the and I know that many of you have listened to my talk sometimes about that left column is so amazingly important to understand, because a lot of times now that maybe we have a PBX installed in a corner, we forget about it. One, it's probably outdated firmware. And secondly, if something should go wrong, you're either under some sort of a maintenance contract that you're paying monthly, and then you're going to get billed when a technician has to come out and fix it. And that's just talking about the PBX, the voice portion of it. With the cloud, that goes away. It's just it's per license or per seat, like Bill was saying. I'm sorry, Bill.
No, that's a great point, Hugo. And I think to add to that, when you think about your current state of your PBX and your communications business today, what is your DR scenario? What is your DR plan? And again, we'll go through why migrating to the cloud cares for all those DR scenarios, and why Avaya Cloud Office provides one single tool to collaborate and to connect and to be connected to your enterprise. So when people talk about migrating to the cloud, people who understand some of the things that happen in the cloud, a lot of them talk about security. You know, we can go back and talk about what happened to Zoom and the security breaches on their video platform and stuff that happens in Google Classroom with our kids and people joining Google Meets when they're not supposed to, and things that should concern everybody, right? Because data as a company is our most valuable asset. Our customers' data is the most valuable asset. And if I can get that by hacking through your phone system, by getting to your CRM, that's an issue. So part of this partnership is by leveraging the infrastructure and the data centers. It's leading security. It's SOC 2 and SOC 3 compliant. It's all secure voice. That means it's encrypted. It means that I can't hack into your phone calls. And when the data is at rest, and again, when nothing is happening, it's still encrypted, right? That's one of the most important things to think about is I understand when I'm using it. What about when I'm not using it? It's always encrypted. It is HIPAA compliant. It is high trust compliant. We have toll fraud controls in place. More importantly, it's reliable. When you talk about migrating to the cloud, what's the reliability? Well, Avaya Cloud Office provides you 5 nines of reliability. And we back that with a financial guarantee. If you go down and you're down, Avaya Cloud Office will reimburse you for your lost downtime. Now, knock on wood, that was wood. We haven't had to do that. And the platform has not been down in over 3 years. No other cloud provider can tell you that. And if they are, I'd ask them for the proof. And the proof is in the pudding. So again, we'll talk about that. It's all redundant backbones. The network is redundant. When you talk about the cloud, you know, where is the stuff in the cloud? Is it in one spot? Is it in 3 spots? Well, we do what's called active with full failover. What that means, think about your PBX today on premise. Put that up in the cloud in a data center. The way you look at cloud is there's another one of those in another data center, not in the same region in case the region's affected by a severe storm or some sort of natural disaster. We make sure you're always up and working with this active approach. And again, we have global reach with geo-redundancy data centers as well. So the 5 key points I want you to take care of is the scalability from 1 user to 100,000 users. It's the same platform in the same instance. 5 nines of reliability, right? Reliability matters. High quality of voice. I don't want to sound like I'm underwater. I want to sound like I'm sitting right next to you. And the true HD voice that Avaya Cloud Office provides is second to none. It's secure. We have to protect our customers' data. We have to protect our own data. So this is a very secure environment. And it's been used by millions and millions of people. We have millions of endpoints out there utilizing the Avaya Cloud today. Any questions on the design and security and things to think about when you're migrating to the cloud? All right, perfect.
Good.
Again, I won't touch on this briefly. It's a global offering. You can get this platform globally. And when we say globally, I can be sitting over in Rome, utilizing the application on my mobile phone as if I'm sitting at my desk here in Plymouth. I can be sitting in Ecuador on my soft phone as if I'm sitting here in Plymouth in the office. That is power. That is a truly powerful message that you can provide not only to your employees, but to your end customers as well. We have
And goodness knows I've taken advantage of that.
Hugo's one of the testers for us with all the travel that he does. So absolutely. And then we do one simple invoice, right? We can bill in your local currency, or we can bill in your headquarter currency.
In Costa Rica.
Yeah.
So Avaya Cloud Office, what is it? It's a single platform that provides you the ability to do messaging, calling, meeting, all in a single instance, all in one single pane of glass. Can I now communicate with everybody inside of my corporation or outside? Now, this includes faxing, SMS and MMS messaging. It includes video conferencing. This is the platform you get with every single user, the one that we're using right now. As you can see, I'm doing screen sharing. We're recording the call. You have the ability to do chat. I can mute every one of you, but I don't want to. I want you to ask some questions. So there's a lot of stuff that we can do with this platform, and it's very powerful. Every user who gets this platform starts out with 100 users in a single video call. Every user gets that. If you look at audio conference, you get up to 1,000 participants in one single audio bridge, and that's per user counts with no additional charge. Everything we're going to talk about today and I show you is included with that standard license that we would propose to you. So think about that. There's no surprises, no gotchas, right? What we're going to talk about today is included and based in the platform.
So Bill, if I could just add, for everybody that's on this call and that has a phone system, a PBX, think about if you wanted to add a component to that. Think about if you wanted to just allow to be able to kind of collaborate with your employees or your customers, or just bring the ease of video conferencing. Back in the old days, that is an entire other solution that I would normally have sold to a company. And then there was an integration piece, and then there was fees, and then maintenance. And this is all now included. It's all bundled under one platform. It's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah, I was at a customer site yesterday and did a demo. And after the demo, he looked at me and he goes, "I don't believe you." He goes, "It looks way too easy." He goes, "Everything is just there." So I turned my computer around and I told him to have at it. And unfortunately, he's making a bunch of calls, doing a bunch of video calls. He was texting people I didn't know. I got home and I had replies from people I didn't know who they were. But he says, it is amazing how cool these tools are. So when you look at what's up on the screen now, it's the unified workspace. No longer do I have to use a separate application for video. No longer do I use a separate application for teaming or sending messages. No longer do I use a separate application for faxing. No longer do I separate application for SMS or MMS texting. As long as it's a text-capable device, you can send and receive texts from your desktop. Now, this desktop application provides you the ability to do regular audio calls, video calls, file sharing. And when we talk about file sharing, let's go back to security and compliance. Right now, today, if you're doing file sharing, do you make sure your stuff is HIPAA compliant and high trust compliant? When you utilize our platform and share those files, it sits in our data center. They are compliant. So think about those things that you do on an everyday basis to protect your data and protect your customers. Those are the things you want to think about. And also on this screen, you can share files from third-party computers, third-party apps, local area network storages, things like that. So this single pane of glass allows you the opportunity to do everything you need to do that normally would take 3 to 4 different applications.
That's right.
Any questions on that?
One thing that I just want to share with everyone is we've always taken for granted, right, that just it's working for now, but that we never have really thought about the security aspect of everything. Security today is huge. And what Bill just touched upon, even the capability of you being able to file share, but at the same token, being 100% secure, that's huge for corporations. I mean, this is something that would have cost thousands and thousands of dollars if you wanted to implement some sort of security into your network to be able to have that capability today. So it really is. It's a cool thing to be actually have it on the one platform.
So when you look at the what's up on the screen today, the left side would be like your soft phone or your unified desktop application. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but here it says messages. It tells me how many unread messages I have. And when I talk about messages, it's peer-to-peer messaging, it's group messaging, and then within those messages, if you look off to the right, this is where I have my shared files, my shared images. I can create tasks. I can use this application as a building block to do training for my teams, set tasks that things need to be completed on time, and I can track those instead of having to track it in a different application. So when you look at the power of the application, it's what you can do within it that makes it the most valuable instead of having to look elsewhere. Well, where did I put that file? Did I put it in the Jones folder or did I put it somewhere else? As you label these teams, you know what's included in those teams. And then underneath the teams, we have the call icon. It's literally what it says. You press on the call icon and it has you the ability to make and receive phone calls. Look at your voicemails. One thing that Avaya Cloud Office provides to you that no other provider does is a transcription of those voicemails. The first minute of those voicemails are transcribed and listed, top to bottom, so you can decide what do you want to respond to. And then, at some point, Hugo, like maybe set up a demo, and I would recommend you reach out to Hugo and let's get a demo of this application. But when you see it live and working, the power of the application speaks for itself. So I would say, when you get a chance, make sure you get with Hugo to set up a demo. One great thing about this application, when you look at the need to go from desktop to mobile, that transition is hard for a lot of people because it doesn't look or operate the same. If you look on the screen today and off to the right, this works in the iOS and Google Play Store, so Android and iOS devices. But the experience is the same because we keep it the same. On this phone, you see down here, what's it say? It says messages. Up here on my desktop, messages. Down here it says call. Up here it says call. So we keep that same look and feel throughout your experience, throughout your employees' experience. Because at Avaya, it's the experience that matters. I want to make sure that they understand I don't have to learn a new tool when I go from my desktop to my mobile device. It's going to work and act the same. Now, the cool part is all the functionality and features you could do on your desktop, you could do on your mobile device. I can send a fax from my mobile device. I can host 100 participants on a video call. I can host 500 people on an audio conference call. I could share files. Anything you can do on that desktop with this application, you can certainly do on your mobile device as well. That lets you be agile, lets you to be able to respond to issues out in the field and not feel you have to sit at your desk to communicate and collaborate with all of your customers.
Hey, Bill,
Yep.
What if I was on my telephone on my desk and I have to run out really quick? Do I got to hang up? Or
No,
can I just...
so all your devices are connected. You can have up to 5 devices registered to your profile. And I realized I just held my hand up and did 5, and you couldn't see it because my camera was off. 5 devices. You could do 5 devices per profile. So that allows you to have a soft phone, a mobile phone, a desk phone, an iPad, or an Android pad. You can have all those devices working. They'll ring all 5 devices, and now you can actually transfer the call to each device that you want to collaborate or communicate on. That's power.
That's huge.
Yeah. All right, so again, we talked about faxing. Faxing is the capability to send a fax or receive a fax from the desktop, from the mobile app, and we integrate, obviously, with different applications, Dropbox, Box, Google Drive. You can pull up to a 50 meg file into a fax and send it off and know that it is high trust and HIPAA compliant. Again, receive faxes anyway. Your one single DID that you'll get per user, as I like to call it, a smart DID, provides you the ability to do faxing, texting, the audio and the video calling as well from one single number. So team messaging we talked about, right? The ability to create teams, create tasks, create alerts, do file sharing. It's a very powerful tool that integrates within the platform. I no longer have to worry about where I store files, where did I put it? Oh, God forbid my computer crashed. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter. It's in the cloud. It's secure. And when you log back into your profile, it's going to be there. So let's talk about integrations. What's great about Avaya Cloud Office is that it's an open API architecture that lets you integrate with hundreds of applications. I believe we have 300 open or built APIs out of the box that you can integrate into without paying extra, without having to hire developers. Out of the box, you can integrate with several applications. Talk about the pre-built ones that we have today. We have things like Google and ServiceNow and Box and Zapier and Okta, Slack, Amazon. Salesforce is a big one. We have a great integration with Salesforce. And then we also integrate with, hate to say it, the big M there, Microsoft. Right? Microsoft is out there, right? Microsoft is a player. But sometimes people are too far down the road, Microsoft, right, Hugo?
That's right.
So Microsoft, what do they have for their little collaboration thing? Anybody?
Teams?
Teams. Let's talk about Teams. So
Thank you.
What's great about Avaya Cloud Office is we integrate with Teams. We can be your embedded dialer within your Teams application. That sounds good. But wait, there's more. You know what's great about that? Teams sometimes will have an issue. It'll go down. You don't have to be out. These applications will still be up and working for you. All of your teaming, all of your messaging, all of your video calling, peer-to-peer, that'll all be there if Teams goes down. Now, if you use a Teams voice, you're only going to get 3 nines of reliability. That's not that reliable. By leveraging our integration to Teams, you still get 5 nines reliability. No one's going to beat that. So when you're talking, to people in the enterprise and figuring out if Teams is the route and the way you want to go, and you can't stop it, that's okay. Do the right thing. Get the DR scenario. Get the backup. Get the product that's going to make it work, to make you collaborate.
The interesting thing for everybody on the call is the integration piece used to be a major application with engineering, et cetera, where today it's just an easy integration with all these applications that are listed here, like Google. Like I know, Nelson, you mentioned Google. Many people use the Teams application. So it's a beautiful integration that works extremely well, and it's very easy to do. You don't need a massive engineering team to support you to do this.
You definitely don't. And what's great about our integrations is that they are open APIs, so we have the documentation to help you along the way. And it's not something that's going to be very expensive when you're looking at pro services from whoever your current integrator is and what they're doing for you. Integrations are key, right? It's about seamless transactions. Yeah, your customers, you want them to have a great experience. So it's about when I call into you, maybe I want to do a screen pop, or I want to pull out some application that lets me check voicemail, or pull out some application that lets me check account balances if I'm a bank. There's certain things you can do with all these integrations. And what's also great about the Avaya platform being under the Avaya OneCloud umbrella is that we also have a platform as a service that you can leverage for like virtual agents and virtual operators. There's a lot of things that you can do within the Avaya OneCloud platform, and the Avaya Cloud Office is the start for that unified communications as a service. So let's talk about devices. Devices are the necessary evil, right? But what sets us apart from most providers is we're also the manufacturer. And we understand on-premise PBXs. We get it. We've been doing it forever. So when someone wants to migrate to the cloud, we understand what they want. So what we've done within Avaya Cloud Office is we use our research and development to develop PBX on-premise-like features in the cloud. Things like bridge call appearance, things like park and page. One of my favorites is visual voicemail. There's nothing worse than going into a voicemail box and having to skip, and you're spending 10 minutes going through messages. Our visual voicemail box is like an iPhone. Scroll through it, pick the one you want to listen to, and move on. Saves time and makes your employees more efficient. So our phones, they come pre-programmed, pre-provisioned, they just work. You plug them in. There's no on-site configuration. For you folks that know a little bit about the Avaya on-premise, we had something called Craft. It used to drive me crazy. You have to log into the phone with a Craft password and get through it and find where you had to go. That's all gone. Those phones are pre-provisioned, and they come out working as you plug them in. We also support third-party endpoints. That's good for somebody who maybe wants to reuse a conference phone, doesn't want to buy a new conference phone. But with the Avaya J-Series phones that you would get with the platform, Those are the only phones that provide you those features: the visual voicemail, bridge call appearances, park and page. Those aren't available on third-party phones because at the end of the day, third-party phones are made for just that, a third-party application. And right now you're looking at an integrated application with Avaya.
Nice.
So analytics. This tool is probably one of the most powerful tools you'll see when you're looking at your platform, whether you have one location or 30 locations across the country. It's all based upon your total infrastructure. It looks at you as one single platform and then breaks you out into locations. As you see on the map here, we have real-time reporting on the global health. No matter where you're located, you'll have one single view to see everything within the enterprise. You're able to monitor the communications, see what's happening. You know, somebody calls in and says, I was just hung up on and Betty was really, really rude to me. Well, we're going to pull that call. And when we pull the call, we can A, listen to the recording, but we can B, look at what happened. Well, when that customer called in, they were utilizing a cell phone on T-Mobile and their side of the call dropped. They weren't hung up on. The signal was bad. The person disappeared. That's what happens, right? So you can be smarter and more educated about what's happening within your enterprise. So it does give you those valuable insights that you're looking for what's happening. This provides voice quality for those of you data folks who know what MOS scores are. There's scores that we can see if the calls are good based upon the quality, and if we're having issues, we can see where they came from and react to that appropriately as we're maintaining the platform as well. What's cool
Analytics
about this application is you can actually access it from anywhere, guys. No longer if there's a snow day, I gotta track into the office, log in, change the greeting, or do something different. That's all gone. This platform is fully managed by a cloud. You log in from any device that's internet connected, and you can manage the platform. And I hate to say it, it's that simple.
Yeah, and this piece is just so critical. It really is. You could see everything on your network, on your cloud network.
Yeah, because today, if you have a problem with a phone call, you do one of three things: call the phone company, response, not my fault. Call your network vendor, response, I'll come out in a week and check it out. Call the phone vendor, might need a part, it's on back order, it's going to take 2 weeks, right? All those scenarios are gone. They're all gone. It's 100% cloud-based and accessed and managed and troubleshoot from the cloud. So what separates Avaya from anybody else, or even Ring Central for that matter? It's our high-touch support, right? Our award-winning white glove things that we can do and support you guys on an everyday basis, right? We're staffed in Denver and Raleigh, and we have some of those folks on the phone today from Avaya. When you go with an Avaya Cloud Office, you get a customer success manager who's dedicated to you. No longer do I have to call Cox and find out who do I talk to, who's my rep, how do I get this, does he only handle this part of my bill, right? You have a designating porting success manager. I would say 99% of issues that happen when you migrate to the cloud is when you're porting numbers into the cloud. And with our dedicated customer success team, our dedicated porting success team, our partnership with Abitronix, and working as a team, we don't have issues with porting anymore. We do it right. We have dedicated resources. We do the paperwork properly. And we make sure that you as a customer don't feel that heartburn. That's what we take care of for you when you're looking to migrate to the cloud. We have remote implementation services, on-site services, all done with the Avaya Professional Services team. And again, we're your one trusted partner involved in every aspect of this process. Pre-sales, post-sales. Avaya is always going to be here for you with Abitronix to make sure you guys are 100% satisfied. It includes all the training, end user training, administrative training. The more trained and the more knowledgeable you are as a customer, a better customer you will be. And we always find that. But here's the great part, guys. If you don't want to manage a thing, you don't have to. Part of what Avaya provides and Abitronix provides is the ability for us to do your moves and adds and changes. All that stuff can be done by Abitronix and Avaya. So don't feel like this is a lot for you to burden and a lot to take on. We're going to be there for you every step of the way, even when we talk about day 2 support. We're going to make sure that we take care of everything, and we're just an email, chat, or a phone call away. So again, we talked about the phone and devices. I'm not going to get too crazy into that. I know I'm between you guys and some probably delicious wine. So let me just get through here. We talked about, how does the Avaya Cloud Office help you? It's very simple, right? It's working from the office with the desk phone and integrating with the applications and file sharing. Working from home when there's a disaster or a global pandemic or something happens where you can't get in the office and you have to work from home. We have all the tools to make sure that when you're working from home, it's like sitting next to Hugo in the office, right? You're there ready to work. And then last but not least, working on the go, right? You're never going to miss a call. You're never going to get a busy signal. You're never going to not know that someone's trying to get a hold of you, because we now have the capabilities to forward calls, to have applications ring on your cell phone, do video calls, file sharing, faxing, even text messaging, all from your business device, not personal, business device. That's key.
Yeah.
It's a business platform for your business devices. So there are folks who don't like to say, I don't want to carry two phones. Well, you don't need to. You just need to have the application.
That's
and
right.
The application just utilizes data. And we all know right now, data is pretty much unlimited for everybody on a cell phone now. So that's the way you want to look at things. I appreciate you guys joining me today to run through it. I know it was fast. You guys got the wine to get to, but any questions? I mean, hopefully you got a few. Hopefully we learned something today, but any questions right now?
Hey, I have a question, Bill. I just wanted to ask you, back in the old days when we had like our own physical phone system in the corner of some switch room, most of the time after 1 year or 2 years, there was a whole process if we wanted to stay on the latest firmware. How does that work with the cloud?
So what's great about migrating to the cloud is that's gone. No longer do I have to pay for upgrades. No longer do I have to pay not only for software upgrades, but for hardware upgrades. Let's be real, guys. Hardware upgrades are a killer, and hardware upgrades happen, right? They just do. So all that stuff has gone away. Part of what you're paying in your monthly fee per user is that support, all the upgrades. And upgrades will give you new features and functionality, right? That's what upgrades do. And when you look at what you're doing with upgrades today on an on-premise platform, most of the times it's a fix, right? And we don't want fixes. We want functionality. We want features. So that's a great question, Hugo.
I have a question, Bill. I'm sorry, Hugo. How complicated is the transition to Avaya Cloud Office?
What was that? How complicated is it?
How complicated it is? How complicated it is to transition to Avaya Cloud Office?
So the transition couldn't be any easier, and we do it in two different ways, right? If you're an existing Avaya customer, we've built tools to take your on-premise information and migrate that to the cloud. If you're not an existing Avaya customer, we have a clean slate, right? We can still get the data from your current system today, but we're going to build the platform based upon the way you want it. And our project teams do a great job with questionnaires and running through call flows and trying to figure out not only what works best for you today, but what's going to work best for you tomorrow. Yeah. And with the Avaya Cloud Office, we usually run those systems in tandem with your on-premise platform today. We'll set up the instance. We'll get the phones working. They'll have temporary numbers. You can start to utilize the platform with outgoing calls and messaging and teaming. And then when those numbers are ready to port from the old carrier, we'll flip the switch and you'll be on that cloud 100%.
Seamlessly.
Right. Perfect. Thank you.
That's actually that's actually a great question. And one of the things that we do as a value add to our relationship with all of our customers really is Andres, myself, we'll actually go out and we'll walk the entire location with you because we want to get a better understanding before you even think of making the actual transition to make sure that you have a healthy network. You have the right switches in the point, PoE switches. Do you have, are you still on old Cat 3? Maybe you need to upgrade to Cat 5. But we'll take a look at all that, and the beauty of this really is that the support that you get directly from Avaya, I'm not even including ourselves because you have our support, but the support you get from Avaya, it could be one phone. And there's, we've done that. We've sold one phone and the entire Avaya team supported them, trained them, followed up 2 weeks later to see how everything was going and what else they needed to be trained on. So it doesn't matter whether it's 1,000 seats or one phone. And that really is the beauty. And really I think the one thing, and I'll wrap up with this, is the fact that you don't have to worry anymore about, am I on the latest platform, the latest firmware upgrade, the software upgrade? It just happens. If they roll something new out overnight, when you come into the office, so the next time you're connecting on any of your devices, it's upgraded already. Trust me, the reason I'm a little passionate about that is because I remember how it was when you had the older systems and you had to implement a new firmware upgrade. It was, it was a pain. It was a pain, to say the least. If everything went well, great. But most of the time, there was always something. Bill, you know that.
Yeah, I'll leave you with a few things. Think about if a disaster happens, what do? Right? What do we do today? We kind of react to that, right? We're really reactive. What this cloud infrastructure and the Avaya Cloud Office allows you to do is be proactive, right? Be ready for when something happens. And we don't know when it's going to happen. And again, I'm not talking about it could be a power outage, right? We're heading into the winter. Could be a snowstorm. Could be anything. But by leveraging the cloud and being able to work on the go from anywhere, and guys, I'm talking from any device, it's powerful. And it's powerful to your customers, but also powerful to your employees. Because one of the hardest things to do is when an employee doesn't have the tools to do their job, they get frustrated. So let's make sure we give them the tools. And I'll leave you with this. I would set up a time with Hugo to get a demonstration of Avaya Cloud Office and really learn the power that it can provide to your business and not to your employees, but to your customers as well.